How do you generate income as a full-time expat? Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me as I've been going through this 9 years of leaving the United States on an expat nomadic journey. I'm now on my third continent, fourth country, which is Zambia. And one of the things I've been doing is sharing some of the things I've learned along this journey, just to make it, if you're in case you want to become an expat, so you can transition a lot easier and smoother. So let's go ahead and dig into today's video. So this video is all about how can you start generating income as an expat. Now, most people, a lot of times they ask me, hey, what is it like getting a job in the country that you're in? And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. When you become an expat or a nomad, you do not want to work in the local currency that you're moving to. The reason being is it's going to be a lot less than what the United States is or your home country. And number two is the reason why you do not want to be working an actual job there. It's going to be a completely different work environment than what you are used to. And that could be working 7 days a week, maybe 12 to 16 hours a day. You just never know the culture that you're going into. So you want to be focused on generating income instead of finding a job. Now, one of the ways you can generate income is by starting a business. Now, depending on the country that you go to, the startup costs for a business may differ. Here in Zambia, you can start up a business for less than $100 US, and that is getting everything certified and registered with their tax organization. And actually, to get the your tax identification number here, all you have to do is once you get your permanent residency and your NRC, you just apply online and it gets to you in about 15 minutes, which was amazing. Now, there are some benefits, there are some pros and cons to starting up a business. One of the pros is it's very little startup cost. So if you're coming from a country with a higher currency, it's not going to cost as much. Like I know in the US, starting up a business can start out with a few thousands of dollars. Here, we're looking at less than $100 US. And depending on the type of business you're getting, the equipment can be maybe another $200 to $300 US. Now, some of the cons of starting up a business here is you may not know the infrastructure of the economy here. Also, you may need to partner or have someone who is a local that is actually going to be on the business with you. And those are just some of the things you're going to have to do. And so when you're starting up a business here, you want to use someone that you like, know, and trust. Meaning don't just partner with anybody off the street that hears your accent like, hey, I got a great business venture. Take your time and actually get to know people in the country. It doesn't mean you got to be with the high society of the people here, but you need to be with someone who knows what they're talking about and is very ambitious and is going to actually work the business for you. So just be mindful of that. The second thing that you can do to start generating income when you're an expat is buy investments. Now, this is another great one here in Zambia. You can invest in other people's businesses. Now, like I say, it's pros and cons to everything. One of the pros is someone who's probably already know what they're doing. They're already understanding how that business needs to be structured, or it's a business that's already in place. And so they may just need capital to get it afloat or making more money, meaning they may just need more inventory of things of that nature. Now, the con on that one is you have to make sure this person understands what it means you as an investor in their business. A lot of times here, what I see how ordinary businesses operate here is hand to mouth. They eat the money as soon as it come in. They're not using that money for future projection and for business growth. And so you need to make sure there's a clear understanding. This is the expectation. This is how much I'm expected to get paid monthly or quarterly, however you decide to work that out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you do not set that up properly, someone is going to mess you over. And they may not be a bad person. It's just the culture of business here. So when you're going overseas, you need to understand it is a very different business culture than your home country, especially if you're coming from the United States. And then the third way that you can start generating income is buy land. Like if you're in a country like here where you have the opportunity to buy land, invest in land, get farms started. Now, when I say get farms started, that doesn't mean you become a farmer. If you have no desire or no knowledge of doing farming, hire someone that knows how to do it. Labor costs here are a lot more affordable than most places in the world. And here with farming, even on some of the land that I have out in the Eastern province, I use maize to barter with for actual work. So with some of the land that I got cleared out, I had bought a couple of packs of maize. And when I say packs, it's big bags, guys, kilograms, and use that to pay them to actually till and cut some of the land down to get it ready for farming at the end of this year. And so that is one of the things that you can do. And also with the ability to own land, you don't know what type of minerals are on that land. You don't know where the country's going to be in a few years from now. Like where you may be buying land in a village that most people think is undesirable, 10, 20, 30 years from now, that might be the next big city of that country. So please do not pass up the opportunity to get land, especially if you can get stuff farther out from the already built up cities. And so if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you're an expat and you've been doing this for a while and you know some different business things, different ways to generate income, leave the comment down below. Because remember, collaborating is the best way to do this. The more we share information and collaborate with one another, it's going to actually make the journey easier and simpler for the next person going around. Because think about it, when you first started your expat journey, you probably would have wished you had some of the information that you have now. And so that's why I share some of this stuff with you. And just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.